Welcome to the Writer's Room. Today we are talking about Shane Black's The Nice Guys.
Welcome back. We are talking about The Nice Guys today, and I am one of your hosts, Matt.
Katie.
And we're, of course, coming to you from HollywoodRedux.com and on all social medias at Hollywood Redux. So let's get right into it. We are talking about Shane Black's The Nice Guys.
So nice.
Really funny movie coming from Warner Brothers. It premiered at Cannes like a week and a half ago, and now it's out in theaters, which is kind of cool. Stars Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, and actually I'm going to give and I'm going to butcher her name because it's a kind of a fancy name. It's like andouille sausage, but it's Angourie rice.
Okay.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. She plays Holly, Ryan Gosling's daughter.
Oh yeah, she's great.
She was awesome.
What a great actress.
Yeah, didn't see her in the trailers once, but she was fantastic.
Yeah.
She actually was like stole the show for me, but we'll get into that in a second. If you have not seen any of our reviews before, we spoil the hell out of the movies. We talk about specific things that could ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen The Nice Guys, go watch it before you watch this. And if you're just in the mood to watch a previous podcast or something like that, or to get a review, you can check out any of our other reviews over at our Hollywood Redux YouTube page and also at HollywoodRedux.com. So, spoiler alert over, reviews start. Katie, what do you think about this movie?
Well, I think that if you're looking for a Shane Black buddy comedy, then you certainly have found your movie.
Yeah. I mean, and if you didn't know, Shane Black wrote Lethal Weapon, was like all the Lethal Weapons. I
think the ultimate buddy comedy. I think the iconic, like, OG buddy comedy, in my opinion.
And some surprisingly foreshadowing for Mel's future. But yeah, Shane Black's great. He also did Iron Man 3, which wasn't so great, but he did this movie, and I liked it a lot.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of my favorites.
And I think that was his first, I could be wrong, and you can comment and let me know below, but I'm pretty sure that's his first feature film as a director. As well.
I don't know about that. It's just a really cool noir.
Yeah.
I love noir.
Yeah, and so does he, obviously. Yeah, he's a big fan of the cop, detective story and, damsel in distress. Even though this was a damsel in distress kind of story, but it kind of also wasn't because she didn't really seem to need their help. And I guess whenever they interacted with her, it was more of a, she was kind of running away from them. And anytime they interacted with her, she got into trouble. She was either captured or killed, Yeah,
well, they infuriated her also.
Yeah, because she just kept seeing everybody as the man, Well,
also, but they took no responsibility for their own actions either. Like, that was that was part of her presence in the film, was sort of the suggestion that, like, they couldn't quite understand it. That's why. It wasn't their fault, they couldn't understand.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, and you did see the movie, that's totally okay. We're talking about Amelia, played by Margaret Qualley, I think. I don't know. I'm terrible with names.
I knew before, but I
should not be a
liked her
host. Yeah, she was great, but I'm terrible with names.
Now,
I can't pronounce names.
We're committed.
John Travolta, here I come, coming to join you. So, oh man. Anyway, so in the film, Ryan Gosling is a private eye, and Russell Crowe plays Healy, a enforcer, and they cross paths because they're both kind of looking into Amelia, the disappearance. Which, is kind of somehow, that was a little thing that was confusing to me. It was kind of intertwined with the Misty Mountains death story a little bit. I don't know, I guess it kind of comes clear when the whole projector scene inside Misty Mountains' old house, they say like, Amelia must have come here to screen the film and things like that. But for the most part, for the majority of the film, until they kind of explained it to us, I was confused as shit. I was like, how did this porn star Misty Mountains have anything to do with Amelia? I guess they were in the film together, also.
Yeah,
but it just kind of, it was weird.
Unclear.
Like, because like her aunt or grandmother or whoever, Miss Lois Smith, classic actor.
Oh, yeah. She was great.
Yeah, she was great.
It's probably my favorite performance in the film, actually. It was hers.
Yeah.
I love her so much. Her, Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah, she was always looking for her, and she was confused and things like that. So I guess it was just kind of confusing, because maybe it just moved a little too fast in those areas for me. To kind of soak up everything. I don't know. Because, like, that's one thing that this film was great, is that, like, it explained a lot, didn't spoon-feed everything to you. You kind of, like, went along the journey with Ryan Gosling and, Russell Crowe and Holly. as they were like kind of doing real detective work, and you were kind of discovering things with them. Like you were meeting people and seeing familiar faces, and like Blueface and Old Man, you know, my man Keith David, holding it down and looking great, by the way. He looked like a 20-year-old in that suit, like the red, you know.
We love you, Keith David. We're your biggest
forever,
fans.
yes. And I believe there's even an app out right now with Keith David's voice where he'll tell you inspiring things and be like, "You can do it."
Yeah, we did see that. No, we did see a request for that.
Yeah. It's not real. Then that's
the point is there's a need for that.
Yes, and Keith David's voice is perfect.
Yeah.
If there isn't, yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, back to the story. They go on this journey, chasing down this whole like through the pornographic industry and everything, to like I guess pull the curtain back on the Detroit Motors. You know, companies being corrupt and funneling money and bringing the mob from Detroit and things like that were trying to move in. So a porno film actually did a political kind of propaganda thing and saved the day a little bit. Because I guess that was the proof that they needed to put people behind bars, was making a porn. So made a lot of sense. I've heard worse ideas from people in LA. So,
well.
You know, there is that. But overall with this film, I really enjoyed the pacing. I enjoyed the action. You know, there was nudity for the porno industry and stuff like that was fine. It was a little gratuitous in the beginning with Misty Mountains' death.
Not for me. Not for me.
But you know, it was one of those things where I really enjoyed this. I thought they nailed late '70s Hollywood and Los Angeles, and like. The cinematography was great. You know, there was a lot of shots, you know, especially around like sunset and stuff, where there's just so much depth to these shots and just beautiful, like really good framing overall throughout the film. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed this from Shane Black, which honestly, like, I did not like Iron Man 3. I thought it was the worst Iron Man film.
Yeah,
and
that was like an Iron Man movie. This was a Shane Black movie.
Yeah, this was a Shane, and you could tell it was like big studio all over it. Which hopefully he's doing the Predator, so which is a re-envisioning, I guess. So hopefully he doesn't, you know, let the studio kind of do the same thing they did on Iron Man 3, which is like, let's throw 50 robots in there, you know, like.
Wow. That's how it always goes, though.
Yeah, bigger and shinier, so that people will spend money. But no, overall, I really enjoyed this film. I thought Angourie sausage. Angourie rice, Holly. I'm just going to call her Holly. I thought Holly was great. I've never seen her before in anything, and I thought as far as like younger actors go, top notch. You know, did a great job.
She was great.
And I liked the demographic between the three characters. You know, she was basically the only detective out of the three of them. She disregarded all of the stay in the cars and go homes and was like a part of the story. And really a part of the case. Like, she actually broke three or four things throughout the movie in the case. Yeah. So I really dug it. I thought she was great.
Like, but you're overlooking how, like, irresponsible / inappropriate that was, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, like, you know, like Russell Crowe, Healy comes in when she's watching porno with the porn actor and everything, and, like, roughs the guy up. He's like, what are you doing? She's a child. And it's like, well, I'm in this movie. You know, so there was just a lot of weird kind of, like, you know, when I think about going to an adult comedy, I don't think about going to, like, Neighbors 2. I think about going to see, like, The Nice Guys, you know, or like, Boogie Nights or something. Like, that's an adult comedy. And
or, like, Inherent Vice, which is
Inherent Vice.
This, like, this one's older brother, maybe.
You know, I don't want to necessarily go see just, you know, a bunch of college kids, like, getting high and, like, banging each other and doing stereotypical, like, in bikinis on, you know, hoods of cars. It's fine to see that. But I don't want to see that. I want to see an adult comedy that has adults in it, you know, and like adult humor. You know, there was a lot of fun stuff. I liked the whole backstory with the house burning down, and it was kind of his fault because he didn't, you know, he couldn't smell the gas in the house. Holland. But so you didn't like the nudity and stuff. That was a little much for you. What did you think about the overall film?
Oh, well, let me see. I think that, like I said, I think if you're looking for a Shane Black buddy comedy, I think you found it. I think then you'll be very happy. I think as a Shane Black fan, I think he, you know, ticked off all the boxes. Like, he showed me all the things I'm looking for in that genre.
Cool.
You know, yeah, I mean, it's not my perspective is the only thing.
Yeah.
That's maybe where I come from on the front of, like, in the very, first 5 minutes of the film, it's just like, a woman's body like dying, but the focus is not the fact that she's like, call medical help, she's dying. It's like, oh, look at her nice jugs, it's
her Misty Mountains.
Kind of a bummer. As a lady, you're like, ah.
Yeah, I feel like it was meant to be more funny, and it just
I get
didn't
that.
play.
For sure, it just hurt to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing's funny about a woman flying through a windshield and dying. But I think it was meant to be funny because the little boy just previously before that spent the entire like little opening scene of the movie sneaking into his dad's bedroom to like grab the porno mag from underneath the bed, and then he pulls it open, and it's actually her sitting there in the same pose he discovers her in after her car drives through their house.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It was like a thank you, God type moment, except she was dying. And her last words were, how do you like my car, big boy? Which was the title of the film.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy, I guess you could say.
Pretty dark,
But
yeah.
it just, like, for me, maybe it was, like, hit me in the weird place and in the intestines.
There were some weird jokes I feel like didn't land, or, and some jokes that landed a little harder than they probably should have. But, overall, I thought it was a pretty solid film. There was a great beginning, middle, and end.
There's some great laughs in it. I mean,
hilarious moments.
We haven't even talked about the comedy. There were some great laughs, especially between Crowe and Gosling. I thought their chemistry was
perfect matchup.
Fun. It was a nice Shane Black trio, actually. I felt like the three of them had a rapport.
Had a little Joe Pesci in there.
They had their invisible world on this. You could feel it in the movie, and you could feel the love on behalf of the people.
Yeah,
who really liked the material.
It felt real.
Yeah.
For a noir, a neo-noir like 70s pornographic journey through the dark side of Hollywood, and the industrial motor industry.
And pinning it all on Kim Basinger.
And then Kim Basinger shows up
Basinger.
looking fabulous. Fabulous, as always.
Well, obviously impeccable.
Yeah,
but
I mean, come on, Kim Basinger.
She was like the face of that, and she didn't even deserve. I was on her side a little bit. I was like,
because of course, when a woman is the Department of Justice head, she's got to be corrupt. Sorry, getting off that soapbox now.
I liked your like.
You like the hip throw?
Like
the hip throw? Anyway, no. Kim Basinger was great. I mean, she was just. I wish she was in it more. Because she actually has acting chops. And, I wished I could have gotten to see some more.
I totally agree with that. In general, I thought I wanted more character stuff from the women. They were undersold a little bit. Like the actress who played Tally, I loved her. I wanted more from her. Her character was just solely as, like, this agent of...
And Matt Bomer, too. I wanted to see more Matt Bomer. John Boy. Yeah.
I loved... And John Boy. What a
he was a great villain.
Thing, calling him John Boy. What a great joke. And, like, he was in it for very little, and he was such an interesting face moving around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the action was great,
and then, like... movie. Give him Shane Black, write that movie, John Boy the movie.
Overall, I love this film. I think that's going to do it for this episode, but overall, I love this film.
Yeah, no, it's worth
very enjoyable.
It's worth a trip to the cinema for an experience.
And there's a great moment, really quick, before we wrap it up completely, where in the beginning of the film, Ryan Gosling has "You will never be happy" written on his hand, and at the end of the movie, when he actually steps up to the plate and actually does the arc of like putting the bottle down for a change and like being the detective and the person he needs to be, and he saves the day. In that moment, he looks down at his hand and it's smudged. It says, "You will be happy." And I think that was like the greatest like arc moment for his character. Yeah. And then I think Healy pulling up to the bar at the end, realizing everything they had just done and like didn't matter, and getting drunk for the first time was a great way to end the film.
Well, the point was that both things are true. You will be happy, you will be unhappy.
Yeah.
So
no matter what, you just got to live life.
Yeah,
that's life.
It was a good message to send. Thank you, Shane Black.
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. That's what The Nice Guys is about, and we recommend it. So check it out. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of The Writer's Room. We appreciate you checking us out all the time over at HollywoodRedux.com.
Which is right here, so if you would just subscribe.
Yeah, you can click the link below and subscribe to any of our previous episodes, our reviews. We also have plenty of discussions. We have more podcasts and more videos coming every week. Mondays, we have The Writer's Room, which is us. Tuesdays, we have the IGL podcast. Those are our video game guys. And Wednesdays, we have the K-Files. And so we have a lot of material coming out to you guys. Check it all out. Click subscribe below for more. Like the video if you enjoyed our review. And let us know in the comments if you didn't. We'd be glad to talk to you more about it. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.